This video brought to you by Forex Internals.
Hi, and welcome to FX Internals single time frame indicator demonstration. Today we'll be showing you what the FXI single time frame indicator looks like and walking through all of the settings that we have on the indicator. Just a note before you get started on the single time frame indicator and any of the internals indicators that we have, we need to load up the Australian dollar, euro dollar, pound dollar, New Zealand dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, and dollar yen on a 1 minute bar basis. This is because MetaTrader 4 requires 1 minute bar data in order to create other time frames. So to create a 15-minute bar, they actually load 15 1-minute bars and then calculate what the 15-minute bar would look like. The single time frame indicator looks at the current bar's internal strength and then maps that over the last 3 bars. So what we mean by internal strength is we will measure the internal strength of one currency versus another currency of a pair. In this case, since we're looking at the euro dollar, we will measure the euro's strength against every currency but the dollar, and the dollar's strength against every currency but the euro, and from that get a difference which will show us what the internal strength of a currency is, and we can compare how the euro dollar is moving compared to the internal strength of its movement to get a sense of whether or not the increase in price or decrease in price is sort of supported in other ways. So let's take a look at how that works. We take the single time frame indicator and drag it onto the chart. We get all of our inputs. We're going to go to common first and make sure that allow DLL imports is on. All of our indicators and trading tools need allow DLL imports to be on in order to work properly. We then go to inputs and we'll walk you through the settings. Corner def is the description of the valid inputs for what corner we want this to appear in. 0 is the top left corner, 1 is the top right corner, 2 is the bottom left corner, and 3 is the bottom right corner. I like this particular thing to show up in the top right corner, so I set this to 1. Time frame def is the definition of the valid inputs into the time frame that we want to look at. 0 is to look at the current time frame. Let's look at a slightly different time frame. Let's say we want to look at this, the 30-minute time frame, since up here we have I think our current bar is a 5-minute bar. And let's look 8 bars back. And that is valid. This setting periods is valid if rock type or rate of change type is 0. But since rate of change type is 1, actually let's make it 0. If rate of change type were 1, we would actually be looking at the acceleration of a price change. And if it was 1, we would look at the difference in the 5 and 13 period moving averages. Instead of just looking at a single moving average, we would be looking at the difference of 2 moving averages. We can smooth out this data a little bit by using the smoothing type of 1, which is described above as the exponential moving average. We're going to smooth that by 3 bars just to remove some of the noise. And we're going to use a price type definition of 5. A price type definition of 5 means that it is the typical price. The typical price is the high plus the low plus the close divided by 3. We have the calc type def, which is the definition of what the proper calc types are. 0 is the sum of the internal strength, and 1 is the average of the internal strength. So we can either add the internal strength, we can add the strength of the euro against all of its other currencies and the dollar against all of its other currencies, or we can take the euro's average strength against all the other currencies. My preference is 0. Some people may prefer the average. Since we're using a white background, many times we trade on a black chart, we need to change the text to black. So we'll change some of these color settings to black, and you can play around with what settings you find the best. Just take a second here, and then we'll get the indicator up and we can explain how it works. Change that to black, and we'll change this last one to black. Now, calc current pair is a setting here that says, should we include the current pair in the internals measurement? We don't think that's the best idea. Some people might like that. It means that you will include the euro's strength against the dollar in the internal strength of the euro, and the dollar strength against the euro in the internal strength of the dollar. Since we want to do comparative measures of internal strength versus the currency pair to strength, we have that set to false. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Hit OK. And you'll notice that the indicator appears up here in the top right corner. What this shows is a +1 to -1 percentage change in value of the euro. Each one of these bars here is representative of the last bar. So the bar on the right-hand side is the current bar. The bar in the middle is the just previous bar. And the bar to the left of that is the bar before that. So you can see generalized trends of what's going on. This is the 30-minute time frame here, while we're looking at the 5-minute bar. So you can see that for the last couple of hours here, we've had a generalized down movement, which is reflected in the difference here of the euro strength less the dollar strength. So we can see that the euro is losing strength while the dollar is gaining strength against other currencies. So therefore, the euro dollar should be going down, and as you've seen over this time frame, it has. The way we tend to use this is to look for divergences, to look for strong price moves up while the upper time frames are falling in order to show that the price rise actually cannot be supported. We hope that this helps you understand how the single time frame indicator works. We suggest that you go to www.fxinternals.com to go look at other videos of our trading tools and other indicators, and we wish you the best of luck in trading.